Well, hello, Lisa.
Hey, Ken Lewis, it's so great to have you join us for Life Reimagined for our live stream right now. And why don't you kind of tell our group a little bit about you?
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. So, Ken Lewis, I am an Air Force veteran. I spent 20 years. My last couple dozen of years was a bomb squad technician. And now I use those skills in my coaching practice. So, as a business coach, I really focus on trying to help both personally, professionally, and the individuals, organizations to strategize their growth and their development, whether it's going to be sales, marketing, leadership, communication. It really is this whole person or whole organization concept. And I utilize skills such as leadership principles by John Maxwell and sales and marketing principles by Grant Cardone. And it really is getting to know an organization, a person, and figure out what is the best resource for their particular goals that they're trying to achieve in the near future. Really, if we could focus in the next 90 days, what kind of growth would you like to see? And it's nice because you tailor it to each unique uh, problem that you're trying to tackle. And it's really, I love the problem solving that's behind it. So I no longer solve the problem of disarming bombs, but more like, okay, how can we reach these goals? Maybe with some obstacles that we got to overcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, that's it's really cool because you came onto the project. Originally, you were helping me kind of like build the website and kind of set stuff up for our first retreat back in November. And I had asked you after hearing you speak at the Speakers Academy and just all the different things you do to join our team. And you kind of jumped in to help us, which has been amazing. One of my favorite takeaways was everybody loved your session in the last retreat. Like you got us up and moving around and actually got us talking to each other, which was super powerful. You used the DIS method. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I think that's one unique tool to use in it, but the communication styles of how we show up and recognizing those styles into others, and thinking about styles in general. This group we got growing was phenomenal because we all bring these different aspects, and sometimes there's some similarities, but we all have our own different spice that we approach that scenario with, or that one development tool. So it's nice for us to grow with each other, and at the same time help others grow. And if maybe one of us is not being the best communicator or being received the best, then somebody else can come in with their perspective and really drive that same principle home, just with a little bit different flavor, I guess you say, in the mix. So it's nice to see how this is growing, and just the energy behind it all with those involved in the process.
Yeah, one of the things that was really cool was I've met with quite a few of the participants since the retreat, and you have also met with them. And some of them, their businesses are just taking off. It's really cool to see their expansion in like less than 60 days. And so, and a lot of those are returning to our January retreat, which is super exciting. I love hearing the collaboration and the encouragement, the empowerment of all the things you're doing, which is super cool. And I know for this upcoming retreat, so this one's a little bit different than our last retreat. This one's going to be more focused on breakthrough for 2025. And I believe you're going to be helping us kick off our Friday night session with the mindset breakthrough. I think you and I are kind of tag teaming some stuff, but do you want to talk about like, what's your approach to helping people remove limiting beliefs or getting that breakthrough? Because it's really hard to do a vision board or action board that Andrea will be taking us through on Saturday of the retreat. But like, if you've got limiting beliefs, your vision may not be that big, right? I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. So how are you going to help address that?
Yeah, and it's a little bit about resetting the rules that you were trained on. I know, like my experience, especially with the military and growing up in a military family, I just perceived the world to be a certain way, and this is kind of the boundaries I need to operate in. But taking a moment to like pause and assess, like, are these actual boundaries that restrict our growth or where we can be and the things we can achieve in life, and just really to, I guess, assess what can you be capable of, and to not self-eliminate or to underestimate your own abilities. Really taking the time of, let's think big, let's go ahead and reach for the stars, and then come up and strategize what does that look like for you and your family or your business, or whatever it is those goals are going to apply to. And I think that was the biggest revelation I had 4 years ago coming out of the military, was like, why isn't that a goal for me? The example I give, when I was trying to find a new job, I had a criteria. I wanted a job that met a certain salary. And why is that? Like that, once I hit that job or hit that goal, I was right back into the wheel, versus that job just being a milestone, a stepping stone to a much bigger goal. I didn't have that bigger goal because I didn't even think I could think that way. So I think that's another thing. Like, what is your current thought process? What are you setting your goals by? What do you think, and why do you think that way? And hey, have you explored these other possibilities that may exist for you as well? If we were to really debunk some of these myths and these barriers, just because of the information we were given by past role models, mentors, media, whatever has been filling our brain until today, what is that data coming in? And can we really justify it and see if there's another way of maybe reformatting, right? To see what kind of possibilities can be out there for every one of us.
So let me ask you this. So you're a big 10X guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
how would we apply that to like a vision board? Like if I say, okay, well, I kind of want to do this and this looks good over here. And what are you like, what could I expect? Like, are you going to help me 10X some of my vision or help me re-see things? Like you said, we're going to reformat, right? Like how?
Yeah, that first step is the realization. I think I like to clean the slate, so to speak. What have you heard? And then let's go ahead and talk about it. Why can't you? Say one of the weaknesses that we have as humans, I know I found myself guilty of, and still guilty of it today, where I have to remind myself, is that we set goals because maybe the other one is too scary. So can we realize that it's not that scary? But then also when we start working backwards to achieve these goals, we tend to underestimate the amount of energy it takes to reach these goals. So we throttle back on whatever that goal is. And because of that, we might not reach some of these smaller goals. And that could be detrimental to your well-being. Like, oh, I never reach my goals. Well, let's change the process. What if your goal was to make $1,000 in a week? But if we change that thought process to make it 10,000, what type of energy and commitment that you need to do to reach $10,000 in a week, then you'll reach your $1,000 and then some. So resetting how we're setting our goals and how we're thinking about those goals we achieve and maximizing the amount of energy we put behind it, so that way you can hit it and then some. And I know I was guilty of this as well, of just, I set a goal and not keeping it front of mind. What is that goal? Writing it down all the time, keeping it front of mind that this is a true goal. This is going to significantly impact. So are your goals going to impact your life? Are you thinking big enough to yes, this is the change I need to see in my life? And even if it's not financially driven, is it important enough to you and your family where once that goal, or business, once that goal is set, that you're going to see impact? And I think we have a tendency to, shoot a little less, maybe not really maximize our potential. We put limits on our own self because, I'm too scared of that. But wait, what does it take? Let's reverse engineer this. Let's work backwards. It is possible. We just need to change how we're looking at that goal and how we're going to reach that goal, and not focus really on the how. What are the steps? Just where do we want to go? And let's blow the cap off of it. Let's not really put these barriers that are non-existent, that are kind of self-made.
I like your bomb squad technician terminology, blow the cap off of things there. That's quite humorous. And you were addressing one of our points for the retreat, which is scarcity thinking, right? Because it keeps us small. And you said you're gonna help us break through that. Is that correct?
Yeah, really. And it's a term that I tiptoe around, and I don't know why, but it's really what I had. Did they ever think that coming out of the military to have a goal of reaching so many millions? I never thought that was possible. Well, why not? Why isn't something like that possible for just a regular enlisted military guy? I never thought that way. And I think once you're introduced to different perceptions of how you can approach problems, it does. I feel like I was a victim of scarcity thinking because I grew up with the mentality of close the doors. You want to heat up all of the city, or pick up that penny, put it in the jar, or don't throw that away. We might use it. And while yes, I can understand not wasting and managing resources, there's a difference between just holding on to everything for dear life. Because why a lot of our generation is raised by those that were a victim of darker times when you had to worry about where's money coming from, or the nation. I mean, yes, we have some of the similar aspects going on as far as how the economy is doing, but not enough where we have to really pinch every penny or really be limited. Be smart, but it doesn't mean we can't do big things and reach bigger goals. And a lot of that, I think, is influenced by how our parents and their parents' parents raised them and had the mentality. A penny saved, well, a penny is still a penny, right? Like, it's still a freaking penny. I need 1,000, and then I need 10 million more pennies. So let's get there.
So it's interesting. The things you're describing is a lot of fear-based stuff. And it's interesting because I just came back from a retreat that Andrea led over in Belize. And one of the things that she talked about during one of our journal prompts was fear. And if you actually take the word fear, and the acronym she gave us was false evidence appearing real, right? And that's that scarcity thinking, always holding on to things. And I can see how that can apply. And again, you're going to help us kind of break through a lot of that during that initial session on Friday night of the retreat. And another thing is, since I'll be kind of tag teaming that session with you, is how to break those old habits and setting a good foundation for personal growth. You know, renewing your mind is a very key principle of, like you said, breaking those habits and getting that new mindset and having that to focus on. And then from there, Andrew will be helping us do some vision setting and journaling on Friday night. So it's going to be really cool to set us up for the weekend. And then we'll do the vision boards, or a version of the vision boards, maybe like an action board. I don't know what she's calling it. But
it is a collective, though. You figure, I mean, all these puzzle pieces, when you link them together, is how do we get you where you want to be, at least closer by the end of first quarter of 2025, right? So if we look at this first 90 days, yes, the things we want in life, my goal list is huge. Obviously, I can't do all of it, but what is one or two things I can work on in the next 90 days that could improve most of the things on my list, but really impact my life? And pausing and taking the time to first clean the slate. How are we going to move forward? What does that look like for you? What are your goals? People have different reasons for what we want to get, and then just making it manageable. You know, how do you eat elephant type of thing is one bite at a time. So let's go ahead and work on that. So that way, as we're going through these steps, it's not so intimidating. It's not so fear-based. It's, okay, I can control this. I'm going to do this. And once you get those wins, and acknowledging the wins along the way, sometimes we get so focused on the tasks that my to-do list is still huge, but we don't take enough time to appreciate the ones that actually have a check mark by it. Yeah, I didn't finish, but I mean, I got some check marks that say we're good. So they all these puzzle pieces come together into that really whole person concept. Again, whether it's going to be personally or professionally, individual, organizational, the concepts apply the same. It's about really establishing your own mission, vision, value statement, and going forward.
And that's cool. Like I noticed, like with our last group, we kind of had a mix of people, but the majority of our participants were all entrepreneurs, but everybody was seeking growth, whether it was personal or business. And I would say almost 100% of our participants received both, in those areas. And that's like super exciting to get to see a transformation take place in such a short period of time. With these retreats. Now, I know Ike will be once we do the vision board process with Andrea, she'll be working on like a 90-day plan to kind of reverse engineer, like you said, that backwards and kind of figure out how do we put all this into place. And I believe that's another area that you're well versed in, is how to, reverse engineer things and put those plans into place, especially with your 10X process, correct?
It is. I think whatever goal setting method one applies is to know, like, to follow a method and stick to it and keep it front of mind. And I think that's the hard part there, is keeping it in front of mind. We tend to set a goal and you write it down, but you don't look at it again. Well, okay, let's make it bite-sized. Let's go ahead and tackle this one goal with what metrics are you using? What targets are you setting to get you towards there? And writing them down, refreshing it daily. It's important. So whatever that course of instruction is, whoever it is you subscribe to, hopefully it's, to us at Life Reimagined. But if there's another guru that's out there that you're subscribing to, stick to the process, see it through. Don't give up and keep it front of mind. It's not a New Year resolution where you write it down and say, okay, we're going to get there. You got to strategize daily, remind yourself daily that this is what I'm heading to, and the why. Like, I'm going there because it's going to significantly impact this aspect of my life, my family life, my business. So yeah, it's nice to be able to, if there's for some reason somebody, again, doesn't resonate with or just needs a different twist on the same material, then that's where we can all help in. Like, okay, how about this idea? How about you hear it in this presentation mode and see how this, because we are in alignment with kind of where we want to go personally, professionally, and how we want to help others get there as well. But again, we just have our own different approach.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool with our core team, with me, you, Andrea, and Ike, is we're all very diverse. We all have very different backgrounds. Andrea, the health and wellness. Ike, who led a $12 billion tech company, and you with your bomb squad technician, your military background and leadership. And then I've got my very interesting background from, electrical engineer to hacker to jewel thief to now coach, and doing all these different things and training people. But again, putting all that together to develop our core team to really come alongside and help people. And I have a very similar mindset of wanting to collaborate and co-elevate and really see people become successful. And that was one of the things that drew me to all of you guys, was you guys are in the business of wanting to help people and help people grow, and just be better. And I know, anybody that's interested in the retreat, you can go to, and I wasn't able to put our headers on here. I had an issue with our StreamYard earlier, but it's www.f2x.co. And if you're watching this live stream and you end up deciding to register for that, we have a discount coupon code for anybody that's watching this live stream. And it's K for Ken, L for Lisa, VIP, and then the date for today, which is 12/27/24. So KLVIP 122724 will give you a discount on one of our breakthrough ticket prices. We invite you to go check out the website, the www.f2x.co. All of our bios are there. Ken is there. If you want to connect with Ken, there's a link to his website. You can see all the amazing things he does. He does one-on-one coaching, a lot of really cool stuff he offers. Just a great guy, great expert in a lot of different areas, and great speaker. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add to what we'll be doing at the retreat?
Yeah, I mean, just setting the expectations of what you can experience during these 2 or 3 days with each other is going to be that intention behind helping you in the quietness of, like, let's focus on this, on where you want to go. And we all always have those external influences that kind of bombard us, but we're going to take some time to really set the stage. And you are our priority for those 3 days on how do we help you with your unique problem. So are there going to be presentations? Yes, we're going to train. We're going to kind of set the stage. But you'll also have the opportunity for the 4 of us to be in a room to say, hey, for your specific scenario, we can tell you having a difficulty. We'll do it like this. Where you can get that in a lot of events if you go, but when you're on a virtual event, you might not get that one-on-one type of attention that may be needed for the occasional stop, right? We all have, we get stuck. So how can I get unstuck with just this one item, and then you got it, and you can pick, check, move on. So I think that's what I like about it too, because it is intimate. You do your part. You're attended to. So you're not just kind of like, here's a lesson, here's a workbook, fill in the answers. No, it's not like that at all. Like here's we're gonna make it practical. Right? We want you to have an actual plan at the end of this, and not just some gee whiz information that you can put away saying I attended. No. We want you to see growth and actually have, with 90 days, something that you can be proud of. Like, boom, look at this, I did it. Didn't think I could, but I did it. Right? That's kind of what I know I personally want out of everybody that attends.
And that's great, because like our retreat takes place. It starts on a Friday night, January 17th. And then it runs all day Saturday, the 18th, and then a half day Sunday. Then you still have Martin Luther King Day to kind of recover. Hopefully you're off that day from your jobs. And if you're an entrepreneur, you probably are in charge of your schedule, so you have that. But yeah, you have access to the 4 of us over the entire weekend. Most of us will be on site throughout the weekend. You can ask us questions. You'll have our contact info, and we're there to support you. And the cool thing about our last retreat for Life Reimagined was we built a really cool community. And I call it like our Life Reimagined collective. And so we have a community of ongoing support. A lot of our participants have actually collaborated and started meeting with each other to co-create different things. And I'm happy to report, like, one of our participants is actually going to be at this next retreat, and one of our sponsors for her company that she's launching. So a lot of cool stuff that happens from these. I'm very much big into empowerment. I mean, my company Fit to Exist is about empowering lives and igniting change. And again, that's what we're all about, is coming together, helping you guys grow, and being the best version of yourself. And so we invite you to come join us. Again, if you want to connect more with Ken or I, you can go to www.f2x.co for more information on Life Reimagined. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, and I hope to see you guys out there.